Cape Sable is such a cool spot. When that tide's coming in like that, I mean, it exposes these areas and it just looks like the moon.
Got him. There he is.
Good job.
Snook. Yeah. I knew they had to be in there.
It was one of those things where as soon as we threw into that certain spot, if you made the right cast, you got hit. If you were a little short, you wouldn't.
There he is.
Good job.
Yeah. You make that right cast in there, they're coming.
It's a bad place. I mean, it's a great place to come visit for the day, but I wouldn't want to be stuck out here. I mean, it's harsh.
Yes! Look at that guy!
That is a shark.
The biggest fish I've ever caught.
I thought you said you had
Got him, relax.
Oh my God!
Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
Let's check the tide over there at Flamingo. We got that low tide over there about midday. We got the nice weather, man. We could run over to the Cape, and
I'd love to go over there.
I haven't been over in a long time, but the weather's right today, and
If we got the right tide, I would love to go over there. We could probably be over there in, what, half an hour under these conditions?
close to it, about 40 minutes to the Cape, I'd say, running, 45 or something. We could certainly run faster than that if it's calm. I don't get over there much this time of year, but the few times I have, it's been really good. I mean, snook, tarpon, it can be pretty exciting. It looks like 1140s.
Is that what you want to hit, that low tide?
I liked it low, that falling tide, kind of gets all the snook and everything kind of funneled out from under the trees and congregated into one spot. And, that'll give us a nice window of opportunity to fish a lot of different spots. And then we'll have enough time, maybe we can stop at a spot or two on the way, look for tarpon. We've been seeing some tarpon local, and who knows what could be back there with all that bait coming through.
Sure.
Let's go.
I'm ready. Beautiful day.
Let's go see what we can do.
It's the equivalent of my Marquesa trip, It's a no-lose situation. Cape Sable is such a cool spot, and it's almost inaccessible to everyone. I mean, it is really, when you look at the state of Florida and where Cape Sable is, it is the most difficult place to get to out of anywhere in Florida. There's not a population center anywhere close by, and actually the way we got there is probably the easiest.
It really is, and we're talking about leaving from the Keys. We can run straight across the Florida Bay, kind of hug little shorelines. We can hug islands if it's rough. Up towards Isla Morada, we can hug those Everglades islands and banks and run, and even on a heavy wind. We had no wind that day, so it was awesome. We could just do a straight line right across the bay, and it's about 22 miles, until we hit the mainland there.
Look at that. That is just a mass of feathers writhing. How many different kinds of birds do you think are over there? I mean, that's incredible, man. You could just sit here and watch those birds all day. You got all I see egrets and cranes out here. You got avocets, little sandpiper birds, and cormorants flying over, and all those white pelicans and osprey flying over. I thought it was so cool because, as you know, I'm a little bit of a bird watcher. I like to know about birds, and I pay attention to them, and the bird life, I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, it's just really cool to get back there and just be in an area. I mean, really, that is so unique.
It is. Well, let's jump up and we'll run right up there by the Cape, and tide's just about right. Hopefully, maybe find some snook or tarpon or whatever's biting.
Sounds good to me.
What's cool about the Cape in particular is it's not just about the fishing. I mean, it's an event. Just about 5 miles of shoreline. That's just white sand beach one way, 5 miles the other, and it's just a beautiful scene. Even if you're not gonna fish, it's a wonderful place. And then to be able to have that kind of fishing there too, that's really cool. And what we did that day was something that I've been doing for years. Is taking the pilchards over that we catch here in the Keys. Keeping them up in the pen, and then we can take a scoop of these little live pilchards. and going into these creeks, and really what the key is there is you saw how we had such a huge tide that day. We you know, when we showed you on the GPS, I mean, we had an actual 6-foot tide swing, which is, you know, massive. Here in the Keys, we only get about a 3-foot swing, but for some reason over there, the geography, we get a 6-foot tide. And what happens is you saw all that bait, there's so much bait everywhere. It can almost be needle in the haystack. And the first spot we tried, there was so much bait, you know, we were having trouble getting a bite, and the tide was running so fast, it was hard to fish it. And then we went to another area, went up one of those little creeks, and you saw there wasn't as much tide flowing. That's where we timed it right on that tide change, and there wasn't as much bait. And I think that really helped too, you know, because they might have actually been hungry. Got him. There he is.
Good job.
Snook. Yeah.
So
I knew they had to be in there. I knew it. Yeah.
Very good.
Right in between those two snags there. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah, man. Nice one.
All right.
I knew they were in there.
Very good.
Conditions are just too perfect.
Watch your hands, man. Stick those hands down in that muddy water.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff with teeth around here.
There are. Between the crocs and the gators and the sharks, you gotta watch your fingers there. Yeah,
Nice little guy.
Yeah, there should be some more of them. All right. That's good stuff.
All right.
There is. Oh, missed the double. Missed the double.
Very cool.
Is that a snook? Oh, nice snook. Good job, dude.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Hawks Cay Resort Marina and Villas. Surround yourself with what matters most. By Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. By Motor Guide, never stop. By Mercury, #1 on the water. And by Under Armour, Navionics, Loadmaster, and Toyota.
Going to a place like Cape Sable, that is just a no-lose trip for anyone. You can go back there and be able to catch some fish, see some really, really cool stuff, and be in one of the most remote places in the country. I mean, where could you go to be 12 miles away from a paved road at any distance? You know, as the crow flies, I guess it's hard to find a place that remote.
You know, what's cool about right there is, you know, you can leave from the Key Largo basically, and you know, or anywhere in the Keys, and you're going around the Cape there. You hit that little Flamingo Lodge, and you go out all the way around to the Cape, and you know, from there on out, you got 100 miles of shoreline that's just untouched. It's a great day trip, whether you're fishing or not fishing. Luckily, we were fishing that day, and I love working my way up into these lost little creeks, because we were there on a Saturday, but once you work up these little creeks, man, you can be all by yourself, never see anybody, just us and the crocodiles and the snook. There he is.
Good job.
Yeah. You make that right cast in there, they're coming. That's what we like.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're real tight up in there. Very cool. Very nice. I missed one just right before that too.
Yeah.
Slightly smaller bait I went for, you know, seeing the
Probably a good idea.
One of the cool things I thought was, you know, we were having a little trouble getting the fish to bite. Got into that creek that I was real confident with, knew that this spot at this tide was right, and we had the right bait, and sure enough, it was one of those things where as soon as we threw into that certain spot, immediately, wham, you know, got that first bite, and then once I got that first thump, I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be on now, and it was a nice flurry there from there on out. You know, just every time we pitch in that hole, if you made the right cast, you got hit. If you were a little short, you wouldn't. That's the right spot.
The tide just changed direction right now.
That's right. This is right at the switch is when they bite. Got him? Yep. Nice job. That looks like a bigger fish. Different fish. That might be your Goliath.
Nope.
No? Snook? There he is. Oh, missed the double. Missed the double.
Very cool.
Is that a snook? Oh, nice snook. Good job, dude. You're getting bigger even.
Getting bigger. I was taking it out of their mouth. You gotta let them have it for a second.
That's awesome, man. I've been waiting for this tide all day.
Wow. Not a monster, but he's fun.
That's awesome.
Maybe Grandpa's in there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, the fishing's cool, and I really like that, but I gotta admit, I was a little bit distracted up there because I was looking around at this mud and this you know, this area, you know, on low tide, when that tide's coming in like that. I mean, it exposes these areas and it just looks like the moon. I mean, to me, that's what I think when I go up there to Lake Ingram or any of these places. It is so foreign to me to be in that, you know, coming from the Key West area where you got clear water and you know, everything is, you can just see everything. And then there to where I'm looking at this muddy water and the mud and the flats that we had up there and these tiny channels, and a crocodile pokes his head up and the birds are everywhere, and I was more than a little distracted, pleasantly to where I was like, yeah, you know, that's great, you're catching those fish, but look, check this out. I mean, this is a great, cool spot, and it really reminded me of when I take people to the Marquesas and I'm trying to tell them, you know, there's fish everywhere, and they're just kind of like daydreaming. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Well, what they're doing is they've never been in an area like that to where there's no development, there's not a house, there's not any kind of noise, anything going on. And you know, on both ends of the Keys, we've got this incredible wild country. You know, I mean, that place is back there, and you know, if somebody would want to come and try their hand at surviving back there,
Good luck.
I'd give them a free ride, just like I said out there.
Good luck. I grew up navigating, learning the Florida Keys and Everglades with a paper chart like this, going around all over the place, trying to read the map, trying to drive, trying to get the map, you know, so it doesn't blow away. That's just the way I learned how to fish. I've got hundreds of paper charts like this, satellite photos, everything of all over the state of Florida, Everglades, Louisiana, Texas, all these places we fished redfish tournaments over the years. Hundreds of them sitting in my garage, and that's just the way I learned how to do it, and that's the only way I knew how. Until I met Tom, so we started fishing together. He introduced me to the GPS chart plotter and chip technology. With this one little Navionics chip, there is equal to 1,000 paper charts all over the state of Florida, Bahamas, all the way up the East Coast, all the way to Texas. I mean, every little nook and cranny, flats, details of channels, details of channel markers, marinas, just unbelievable wealth of information on this one little chip. Getting a unit like this, not only does it show you the tides, it shows you, it gives you confidence to navigate in areas you've never been to, or to be better in the areas that you know really, really well. It's totally changed my way of fishing. It's probably the #1 revolution in my fishing has been the GPS chart plotter capability. It's an amazing amount of technology in this one little chip. If it wasn't for Tom introducing me to the GPS chart plotter and getting rid of those paper charts, I'd still be stuck in the dark ages.
Good job.
That's awesome. You make that good cast, you get paid off.
Huh, that's cool. He looked like he was 30 pounds there.
That's good stuff. And then interesting how it can be so slow, and then the tide gets just right.
That's what those snooks say all day. No bait fish will come by here all day.
You got him? Yep.
Oh, he came off. I had him. He had that bait in his mouth and let it go.
That was fun. The fishing, really heated up there when that tide changed. That was the key. Is right at the end, as that real powerful tide was just starting to slow down, and I mean we got that frenzy going. And every time we threw in there, he's one snook after the other. I mean, you just knew you were going to get bit. And then once that tide started to come back in, we had about a half-hour more window, and bam, bam, bam. We got a few more bites, caught a few more fish, and then it finally slowed down. it's always like that, and I don't know exactly why it is. I don't know if that's just when they feed, if that's when they're coming through, but I've learned over the years that tide chain is the time when you're going to catch them, and the rest of the time it can be a struggle. And at that point, you know, getting on the trolling motor, moving around a little bit, you know, hitting these different pockets and points, and you know, we moved around one corner there, threw in there, and immediately, bam, you know, caught another one there. Yeah, that was awesome. We could probably even get off here and drop the anchor. Yeah, that was cool. Sometimes I catch a few whoppers on this shoreline here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like that.
Good job.
Yeah, man.
Thought I might be able to slide in there and get a double.
Well, I think we'll maybe get ourselves positioned there a little better. It's really about making those adjustments there. You know, once that tide got a little too high in there, it seems like the fish are just, whether they've turned off or they've moved, or I don't know exactly what happens. There are millions of miles of creeks that we didn't get into that they could have gone into, but you know, it just seemed like the bite was over and it was time to make a move. You know, over the years I've kind of figured out, you know, a few things about where to catch them and when to catch them, but I don't always know why. You know, it always amazes you, you know, how nature has a mind of its own.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Quantum, fishing at a quantum level. By Lowrance, we lead, we find, you win. By Guideline Sunglasses, optimum performance on and off the water. By the Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. And by Under Armour, Navionics, Loadmaster, and Scott Fly Rods.
Yeah, man, let's just idle up here. We'll maybe find another little creek. Might even work our way out to the outside here as this tide's coming in.
This is so different than anything that we have in the lower Keys. I mean, there's nothing even remotely similar to this. It just puts me in such a different place. I mean, I feel like almost like I've gone to Australia every time I come up here. I mean, it's so different. The water's, you know, dark and you got crocodiles and this kind of mud here. I bet if you stepped out on that mud, you would sink right up to your chin.
Absolutely, there's no question. You know, all these little creeks just feed up in here, and we've got, you know, at the high tide here, when you can't see this mud bar at all, it's so hard to navigate. You'll just get stuck there, and I mean, it's a bad place. I mean, it's a great place to come visit for the day, but I wouldn't want to be stuck out here. I mean, it's harsh.
So maybe we should get Survivor Man to come up here and give it a shot.
I'll tell you what, I think
if he wants to come, I'll give him a free ride.
That sounds good. We'll even take him fishing. Yeah.
Take him fishing on the back end of his trip when he's really hungry.
I'll tell you what, this is.
Well, there would be no problem catching stuff here, man. You could catch bait and stuff, but while you're doing that, you'd get eaten by a crocodile.
And skeeters and everything. We've been pretty lucky today. The bugs aren't bad, but you can get up in here in the summer and the bugs will eat you alive. And certainly, I wouldn't want to be here near dark.
And what about water? Probably no chance of any water around here.
No, this is all brackish. I mean, you couldn't drink it, I don't think.
I mean, any springs or anything. No. And there aren't deer here, are there?
No, this is you know, this is that marine estuary, you know, where I don't think we have much land life at all. Maybe occasional raccoon or something, but it's all pretty salty up in here. And then we've got to get, you know, probably another. You could follow these creeks up and go about another 20 miles here at fresh water.
Right. And catch bass and, you know, see stuff like raccoons and otters, probably.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Well, Any place that's too harsh for a raccoon to live, I'm not going camping there.
Well, it's all right to camp for a day. You just don't want to get stuck for a week, I can tell you
Well,
that.
there's a big difference between camping out on the beach out there and
That's
camping
true.
right here.
That's true.
Especially with a 6-foot tide like we had this morning. You showed me on the Lawrence there that it went from a 3.3 to a 6.0 back down to a 1.8. That's a huge tide.
Huge swing. And it's raising back up now. I think we can probably jump up in this hole, run out, and then we'll go fish that outside edge for a little bit.
Okay, good.
Accommodations provided by Hawks Cay Resort Marina and Villas. Surround yourself with what matters most.